Hello everyone! If you're new here, my name is Jelaine, and if you've been here before, welcome! So, in today's video, we're going to pick my February TBR. I know I have mentioned in my previous vlog that I am not sure if I am going to post a monthly TBR video just because I don't know how to pick the books that I'm going to read for that month. But for this February, I actually saw one of the booktubers here on YouTube. His YouTube channel, if I remember it correctly, is Dylan Joseph. He used Fable to help him pick his current read. So that's what we're going to do in this video. So I do have Fable. Here's my Fable account. And we're going to use this to pick my February TBR. So usually I can finish 5 books in a month. So that's how we're going to pick my books this month. And also, I wanted to change up a little bit the way I read my books because if you guys don't know me yet, the way I read my books is I don't read the synopsis at all. I just decide if this title is really appealing for me or not. I don't know if it's just me, but that's just how I always do it. I don't read the blurb for some reasons. It feels like I'm spoiling myself, so I just dive into the book right away without knowing what's the book is about. So we're going to change that today and we're going to read the blurb and we'll see if how interested I will become after that part. So I'll go ahead and put the tiny screen here on how we're going to pick our February TBR using Fable. So if I remember it correctly, Dylan showed how to use Fable to pick a book for you. So you go to your profile and then you click on lists and then you click on want to read kind of folder, I guess, or lists. And then there's like this bluebird or there's this bluebird here on the side where you could click and then that will pick a book for you. So let's go ahead and click that and let's see what book. I think his name is Scott, but I don't know. But here we are. Okay. So, the first book that Scott picked for me is Sarah J. Maas, The Assassin's Blade. So, I have that book. It was given to me as a gift by one of my friends. And I am quite excited to read this book. And let's read the synopsis. So, here's The Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. This is the cover I have. This was gifted to me. And the previous owner of the book collects this kind of cover, but she doesn't want to have like foxing or tanning on her books. That's why she gave it to me for free. So I have been putting this off because I think it's too famous right now. And I think it's too intimidating. And if you don't know me, I can't read the book without the whole series. For some reasons, it's like once I bought the book, I want the whole series. But I'm a changed person now. I think I can read it without the rest of the series. So I don't know what book is this. I believe this is the first. Oh, the Throne of Glass novellas. But I think this is the first part if it's gonna be in chronological order of the book, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. So here's the synopsis. Selena Sardothian is her kingdom's most feared assassin. Though she works for the powerful Assassin's Guild, she yields to no one and trusts only her fellow killer for hire, Sa. When Selena's scheming master, Arabin Hamel? Oh my god. Names are complicated. Dispatches her on missions that take her from remote islands to hostile deserts. She finds herself acting independently of his wishes and questioning her own allegiance. She will have to risk it all if she hopes to escape Arabin's clutches, and if she fails, she'll lose not just a chance at freedom but her life. A prequel to Throne... Oh, it's a prequel. A prequel to Throne of Glass. This collection of 5 novellas offer readers a deeper look into the history of this cunning assassin and her enthralling and deadly world. Oh, so this is a novella. I thought novellas are like thin. I was not expecting that novellas are like 500 pages. Oh my God, okay. This sounds like intense, and it feels like this girl, whoever Selena is a badass by the way it says on the synopsis. And it looks like, I believe this has 8 books, right? Aside from the novellas. So, and I sense like there's a romance in this book. Is there romance in this book? Or it's just pure assassin? We don't know. I'm excited to read this. I actually have Acotar, but I have never read it for some reasons because the copy of my Acotar is just very intimidating. I have the hardbound copies of Acotar, and they're like super thick and they're heavy. I'm not joking, they're heavy. They weigh like a block. Each book I have upstairs. I mean in our room. I mean, how am I going to bring that just in case I want to go out? But I think I have a few friends that are already pushing me to read it. I don't know just yet. Should I dive into Sarah J. Maas's world? I don't know. A lot of people said it was addicting, even some of my friends. So I don't know just yet. We don't want to be addicted to Miss Sarah J. Maas because her books are quite expensive. Yeah, that's our first read for this month. So after checking the Fable pick for me for the books, I didn't realize that I chose 7 books, which is completely fine because there's a chance that I may not like the other one. At least I have, these books with me. Now let's pick my second book for this month. So my second book is You and Me on Vacation. Now this is supposed to be a buddy read with Angela, which is part of our duo book club. And we didn't have a chance to read it just because she's very busy at school. And I don't want to read it just me, but I'm hoping we could do a buddy read for this month for this book. So this is the second book that I'm going to read for this month. Let's go ahead and read the synopsis. You and Me on Vacation. So this is People We Meet on Vacation. I just have a different copy. I believe this is the UK version of the book. So that's why it has a different title and it's a different a different cover, but I think it's pretty much the same story. So let me see if I have the synopsis here. So on the cover it says two best friends, 10 summer trips, their last chance to fall in love. Oh, okay. Okay, so I think this is the synopsis, but I don't know. It's complicated. So how do I read it? Like this? Or just, okay, whatever. 12 summers ago, Poppy and Alex meet. They hate each other and they are pretty confident they'll never speak again. 11 summers ago, they're forced to share a ride home from college, and by the end of it, a pact is formed. Every year, one vacation together. 10 summers ago, Alex discovered his fear of flying. Poppy holds his hand the whole way. 7 summers ago, they get far too drunk and narrowly avoid getting matching tattoos in New Orleans. 2 summers ago, it all goes wrong. This summer, Poppy asks Alex to join her on one last trip. But this trip make them realize they're not just friends at all. Ooh. Is this like enemies to lovers? It feels like enemies to lovers. Because the first part it says, 12 summers ago, Poppy and Alex meet. They hate each other and they are pretty confident they'll never speak again. But then they saw each other the next 11 summers ago. Ooh. So this is interesting. Maybe that's the reason why people well, this is Emily Henry. I do love Emily Henry, if you don't know that just yet. I'm in love with her books. Amazing writing and very relatable story, and it's very realistic in my opinion. But I do love Emily Henry. But my favorite among the two that I have read, which is Funny Story and Happy Place, is Funny Story. And I might reread that soon. I might do a month where I have to do some rereads. So I don't know when will that be, but I have plans on rereading that book. So yeah. Now we're on our third book for this month. Let's see the pick. I think I want to do 6 books just because I'm not sure if I'm able to read one of them, but especially You and Me on Vacation, because like I said, it's supposed to be a buddy read. But yeah. So here's the third book that I'm going to read for this month. It's Dick Francis and Felix Francis Silks. This is given to me by Angela. Thank you so much. And I don't know what's the book about, so let's go ahead and read the synopsis. There's blood here, so I think this is a thriller horror book. But of course, we need to read the synopsis. Okay. When defense barrister Geoffrey Mason hears the judge's guilty verdict, he quietly hopes that a long custodial sentence will be handed down to his arrogant young client. That Julian Trent received only 8 years seems all too lenient. Little does Mason expect that he'll be seeing Trent again much sooner than he ever imagined. Setting aside his barrister's wig, Mason heads to Sundown to don his racing skills. Racing silks. An amateur jockey, his true passion is to be found in the saddle. But when a fellow rider is brutally murdered, the prime suspect is champion jockey Steve Mitchell. Mason soon finds himself fighting a battle of right and wrong, and more immediately, a battle of life and death his own. Oh! I have another book of his, but I don't know because I have never heard the author. So I think this is actually another good thing that I should read authors that I don't know rather than reading books that the social media recommended to me, because social media, especially book talk, is getting toxic for some reasons. The content creators, the ones I always see on my For You page, are not really toxic. The toxic ones are the people on the comment section. They're like really toxic, and I don't know what's happening with people nowadays. It's like they have a lot of issues, or they wanted to start a lot of issues when there's nothing to be a problem at all. But I think this is refreshing, to read a book from an author that is not very well. I mean, I think it's well known, but it's actually good to read a book from an author that I don't know. So this is going to be my first book from this author if that happens. I have never heard anything about this, by the way, so I don't know what's going to happen here, but we'll see about that. So let's go ahead and pick my fourth book for this month. So my fourth book for this month is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young. This has been in my shelf for quite a while now, and I am very intrigued about this book. And let's go ahead and read the synopsis to see what's the book about. I actually don't know what to expect about this. I know it's all over TikTok, but I have never checked any details about the books on TikTok just yet. I always do that after I read the book, because there's actually a lot of spoilers on TikTok that sometimes I don't want to read the book anymore. So I try to distance myself from checking the review or details about the book before I read it. I do it after, just to see if I have the same readers who had the same opinions and thoughts about the book. A hot one night stand and unexpected pregnancy. Oh, leads a young woman to someone she can depend on. Winifred Wynne McNulty, is that how you say it? Has always been wildly independent and not one to be coddled for her limb difference. Oh. Wynne has spent most of her life trying to prove that she can do it all on her own. With some minor adjustments, she's done just fine. Hooking up at a costume party, with the incredible charming Beau changes everything. Wynne finds herself pregnant, oh my god, and decides to keep the baby. While Beau is surprisingly elated to step up to the plate, Wynne is unsure of whether she can handle this new challenge. Together, Wynne and Beau decide to get to know one another as friends and nothing more while they embark on this parenting journey together. But as they both should know by now, life rarely goes according to plan. Isn't that true? Well, that's interesting. So, it's unexpected pregnancy and they wanted to start from friends to lovers? Or maybe they thought being friends and co-parenting is enough. Girl, that doesn't happen all the time. I mean, realistically, it doesn't. So, this is very interesting. I like it. I might read this first. for February, I don't know. If I have not mentioned yet, I am filming this around January. So some of these books, especially this, I might not be able to read this Feb. I might finish this by January, but who knows? This is supposed to be a body read. But anyways, this is interesting. So I might read this first before the rest of the book. So, but look at the copy of my book. I don't know, guys, if you can see it. My camera is not. I don't have a very well lighting. But look, it's been damaged through shipping, but it's fine. I mean, as long as it's still readable. That's me. I don't care what the condition of the book as long as it's readable. I believe this is going to be the fifth or sixth book. I don't know, fifth book that Scott picked for me for this month. So let's see. Light Lark. So I've been putting up this book for a while now because I think it's very intimidating. But I think it's time for me to read it. And I believe this is very famous on TikTok or mostly in social media. And I think that's one of the reasons I'm not reading it just yet. But I think it's time for me to read it. And I don't know what I'm going to feel, but I do actually have one of her book. I just haven't read it yet. I think it's sprayed edges and stuff, but I have another book of hers. I think this has like a second book. This is part of the series. That's why I'm not reading it because there's series here. So whenever I started a series, I want to finish it. I always binge read the books, whether or not I like the first book or not. For some reasons, I don't know. Books are not cheap. They're expensive. So I'd rather read all of them than not reading them. That makes sense. I don't know. Maybe it's just okay. So this book is about Welcome to the Centennial. Centennial or Centennial? How do you say that in your country? Or how do you read it? Because Centennial is growing up, that's how I heard it. But welcome to the Centennial. Every 100 years, the island of Light Lark appears for only 100 days to host a deadly game. Oh, it sounds like Hunger Games, where the rules of 6 realms fight to break their curses and win unparalleled power. Ooh. Each ruler has something to hide. Each curse is uniquely wicked to break them and save themselves and their realms, and one ruler will die. To survive, Isla Crown must lie, cheat, betray. Even as love complicates everything. Oh, does this have love story on it? No, it sounds like it. Does it have romance? So it feels like it's a Hunger Games kind of vibe, but different? This is interesting. I might read this after I read the Out on a Limb book. I think I am really determined to read this first before this. But yeah, so this is interesting. So I think I'm going to like this one. I'm gonna read it, hopefully. We'll see. I hope we don't get into slump. So I don't know if this is the fifth or sixth book I'm supposed to get for this vlog, but I don't know. I think this is gonna be the fifth, so I still need to pick one more if I'm not mistaken. Ugh. Okay. So the next one is Richard Osman, The Man Who Died Twice. I believe this is the second book of this series. I believe this is a series. I have the first book, so I think I'm going to read the first book first before reading the second book because it's just not me. I don't know if it's just me or if that's you too, but I'll read the first one. I can't remember the first book, but I think it's the Thursday Murder Club. That's the first book, so that's the one I am going to pick. I'm going to read. So I've already watched the movie, by the way, but I didn't focus on it 100% just because I wanted to read the book first. So I think that happens to all the movies out there, that there's more into the book than the movie. So I'm still gonna read the book. And I think I really need to read the book now just because that book has been sitting in my shelf for a long time now. I bought that book since 2024 and it's 2026. So I think it's time for me to read it. It's Richard Osman, The Thursday Murder Club. So the first one is The Man Who Died Twice. That's what Scott picked for me on my Fable account. But since I have not read the first book, I think it's fair enough for me to read this first before reading the second book. So, like I said earlier, I've already watched the movie, but I have not read the book. And if I'm going to be very honest, I love the movie because it is indeed funny. It is funny. It's hilarious. In a peaceful retirement village, four unlikely friends meet up once a week to investigate unsolved murders. But when a brutal killing takes place on their very doorstep, the Thursday Murder Club find themselves in the middle of their first live case. Elizabeth, Joyce, Ibrahim, and Ron might be pushing 80, but they still have a few tricks up their sleeves. Can our unorthodox but brilliant gang catch the killer before it's too late? The answer is I don't know if it's the same as with the movie, but it's very clever on the movie. There's like this plot twist that I was not expecting, and I like it. And I like how they are like 80 years old. And okay, no, we're just gonna spoil the book, so never mind. So I think this is the sixth book, the last but not the least, that we're going to pick. Let's see what Scott picks for me. Oh, okay. So the next book is Books and Poets and Regrets by Katrin Madayag. This is a book written by a Filipino author that I bought last month from Manila International Book Fair. Book Fair? Is it Book Fair? Yeah, Manila International Book Fair, or MIBF. And this book actually caught my attention because I am really in love with sunflowers, and that's the book cover of her book. And I read the synopsis of this while back, but I can't remember. But it actually has a very interesting synopsis. So let me read the synopsis to you guys so you'll see what I mean. You see, this is the cover. I think I have shown this in my previous vlog last year around November. This is part of my November TBR, and it's part of my TBR again. If I remember it correctly, it's like a mix of The Seven Husband of Evelyn Hugo. I think there's fantasy. I forgot, in all honesty, but the author is really nice. I really liked her, and she has this tiny note for me. I just love the cover so much. Carrie Rose Diaz is a college student trying to navigate her life several years after her father's passing. As a child, her father would enchant her with magical stories, but their relationships grew estranged over the years. Just when she believes she's ready to face the reality of her loss, a seemingly ordinary poetry night takes an unexpected turn. A childhood friend handed her with a riddle. Ooh. Alex Cortez is the son of the late Mason Cortez, who owned one of the oldest bookstores in Baguio. So Baguio is like one of the coldest city here in the Philippines. You guys should visit that if you haven't. If you're from a different country and you wanted to visit the Philippines, that's the first place I recommend you guys visiting. It's a nice place. Okay. After taking over Lectiopiles or Lectiopiles, I don't know. I don't know how to read. And Labyrinth, Axel, not Alex. Did I say Alex? Okay. Axel's passion and love for music and life is General slowly faded, leaving him detached from everything around him. That is until he stumbles upon an old photo. Oh, so Carrie Rose Diaz, a childhood friend, handed her with a riddle. Axel Cortez stumbles upon an old photo. Ethan Cortez, a film major from Manila and the youngest son of the late Mason Cortez. Oh, they're brothers, has been living a cautionary life since their parents' divorce. Deciding to rekindle his relationship with his older brother, a simple summer visit turns into something much more complicated than he expected. Oh, what is that? Okay. Will the mysteries of the past solve the Will the mysteries of the past solve the predicaments of the present? Will they discover love and companionship as their paths intertwine? Or will their interactions lead to unresolved conflicts and more complicated relationships? Ooh, interesting. So that is quite interesting. I have been planning to read this since last year, and I have read the first part here, and it's very interesting. I'm actually planning to binge read it around August because I am planning to read Filipino books, or I'm planning to read books written by Filipino author on August. But I think it's okay to read this sooner. I don't know. I don't think this has romance. Did the author say it has romance? I can't remember. We'll have to see. Okay, so those are the books that I am going to read for the month of February, and I'm hoping I could read 5 of these books, and I have 7, like I said. It was supposed to be just 6, but I have 7 books to read for the month of February just because I want to. And I hope I don't get into any slump. Cross fingers. But this is the options that I'm going to read for this month of February. I am excited to read some of these books because it's been in my bookshelf for a while. And I'm actually not mad for Scott's pick for me, like Fables. Scott picks for me because I think most of these books are really good. And I think all of these are actually famous on Book Talk. I think we're on a good start for this month of February. So that's all for this vlog. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you are satisfied with my book selection. Just in case you've read the books that I'm going to read this February, leave your thoughts on the comment section below and let me know what are your thoughts about the books that I have shown you, if you read it or if you have plans on reading it, or you're looking for a book recommendation, then maybe this is for you. Thank you so much for staying with me, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I'll see you on my next vlog.